Thank you very much, Madam Chair, for calling me to make my maiden speech. I'd like to congratulate the Honourable Member for the Rother Valley. It's a very good speech, very interesting, and I learnt an awful lot about your constituency. I also learnt a lot today about Southend East and Rochford, Portsmouth North, Swindon North, and especially about my colleagues from Woking and Chelmsford. I actually knew quite a lot about them before, but it was nice to hear some more. I particularly liked the speech from the member for Loughborough, who suggested that the Minister might like to get his chequebook out. I'd like to say, if you are getting your chequebook out, then I would like you to be spending some money for the constituents of Wokingham. Members on these benches have a very strong sense of social justice. This comes to us from many directions during our lives. 50 years ago, I had a very inspirational social and religious studies teacher, John Featherstone, who I'm grateful for helping instill these values in me. This sense of social justice will, I hope, guide me during my time in this house. And I'm very pleased that John is in the gallery up there today. Madam Chair, it's a pleasure to represent the constituency of Wokingham, whose boundaries somewhat changed at the last general election. I'd like to pay tribute to my three predecessors, who each represented part of the constituency. From James Sunderland, the former MP for Bracknell, my constituency inherited the parishes of Finchampstead and Wokingham Without. I always found James approachable and straightforward, and I understand his constituents found the same. Sir John Redwood was the MP for the former Wokingham constituency for a remarkable 37 years, a tremendous stint of public service in which he had a profound influence on public policy. He served in Margaret Thatcher's government as a junior minister and in John Major's cabinet as Secretary of State for Wales, where he is best known for his enthusiastic miming of the Welsh national anthem. The wards of Thames and Twyford were represented by Lady Theresa May for 27 years, a dedicated public servant who served as Home Secretary and Prime Minister. She also has a well-deserved reputation with her former constituents who hold her in high regard and talk about her warmly, with affection and with much respect. Although our politics are different, I wish all of them well in their future endeavours. Madam Chair, it's an honour and a privilege to be elected to represent the people of Wokingham, where I have lived for much of the last 50 years. I went to school here. My children went to school here. They were born in the nearby Royal Berkshire Hospital, the hospital where I am proud to be a governor. It's also the hospital where doctors found my cancer in 2008 and began my successful treatment. In 2016, they were there to help me again and diagnosed the need for a quadruple heart bypass. Without the Royal Berkshire Hospital, I wouldn't be standing here today. Our NHS staff are wonderful, and clinicians at the Royal Berkshire Hospital deserve all the praise that is heaped on them by my constituents. Madam Chair, today we are debating the Chancellor's Budget Responsibility Bill. In the previous debate, the Chancellor announced the pausing of the new hospital building programme, which included the Royal Berkshire Hospital. Parts of the building of the hospital date back to 1839, and staff have to work in offices where the windows don't open and the staff have to regularly walk around buckets that are there to catch dripping rainwater. I must repeat my plea to both the Chancellor and the Secretary of State for Health for a speedy decision as to when this much-needed rebuild of our beloved hospital will happen. If I may, Madam Chair, I'd like to give you a short tour of the Wokingham constituency. In the north is the world-famous Henley Regatta course at Remenham and the very successful Leander Rowing Club, one of the most successful sports clubs in the world. I was delighted when the Prime Minister chose to visit the Leander Club during the recent general election, and even more so that his visit coincided with a boat trip that myself and the honourable members for Henley and Tame and St Albans were making to highlight the issue of dumping of raw sewage in our waterways. It was fun to wave at the Prime Minister from this beautiful stretch of river, and all of the media seemed to be enjoying it as well. Wokingham has wonderful, picturesque villages. Walgrave is recorded in 1061 and in the Domesday Book. The village of Twyford dates from 871, when Alfred the Great's army escaped Viking pursuers by crossing the River Loddon. Wokingham has a thriving and growing brewing sector, establishing great reputations amongst beer lovers, including the Loddon Brewery, the Elusive Brewery, and the Siren Brewery. The Stanlake Wine Estate in Hurst is one of the oldest wine producers in England. The Chancellor will know that our town centres and village centres, like many others in the UK, are finding life difficult. The cost of living crisis created by the previous government continues to limit people's spending power, and online competition is ruthless. Business rates are a huge issue for our local retailers who make our high streets the great places they are. And I do hope that the Chancellor and Ministers will look into reform of the business rates at the earliest opportunity. Wokingham Town received its market charter in 1219. I thoroughly recommend the market, especially the fruit and veg stall and the fishmonger. And my wife also likes me to buy flowers for her from Darren's flower stall. She says they last longer than any supermarket flowers. Using this market is good value for money and an important part of our local character. Today, the constituency is gaining a reputation as a home for life science businesses. And I was pleased when leader of the council to be involved in the early stages of discussions with Lonza, a Swiss public company who will be investing several £100 million in the constituency over the next few years. Wokingham has many charities where volunteers work hard to improve the lives of our residents. I'll just mention a few. The Wokingham Food Bank, First Days, Wokingham in Need, Building for the Future, Citizens Advice, Age UK Berkshire, Wokingham United Charities and the Cowshed. The dedication and hard work of volunteers in these charities and many others is truly inspirational. In the southern part of the constituency is the former Remy Garrison in Arborfield, with which the town had an important relationship for many years. Joel Walter, a newspaper editor and politician and the son of the founder of the Times, lived on the Bearwood estate. He was a Whig MP for the county of Berkshire before 1832. Early beginnings of what I hope will become a long-standing tradition in our area. Madam Chair, from your chair, you must be thinking that this 59th Parliament has so many young faces. As I know, and I hope you will be including me in that category. I bet you're wondering, what is this secret? Well, it's very simple. I worked in the toy industry for many years, running manufacturing and importing businesses. So playing with toys every day for the last 30 to 40 years is what makes me look so young. Our toys made many young people and their parents happy, and I'm hoping to be just as successful in my second career, helping the people of Wokingham to improve their lives. If I can achieve this, I will have had 2 worthwhile careers. Finally, Madam Speaker, I'm grateful to the many people, in particular my family and friends, who have helped me in my campaigns to be elected to the House of Commons, some of whom are in the gallery today. Wokingham has never before elected a Liberal Democrat MP. I will work tirelessly to represent my constituents, and I will endeavour to make them feel recognised and supported. I come here idealistic and hopeful, hoping we can make the public feel the same about our institutions and ensure we do them justice on these battered but far from broken green benches. Thank you very much.